everybody. Welcome
What
to
up?
the episode of Candid Talk Show Podcast, baby. Hey, all right, we got a new person in the building. All right, Devontae, but we got Jiggy. Everybody loves Jiggy.
Do they?
um, real quick before we even start, I just want y'all to introduce yourself once again. Let's start with Jiggy. Jiggy, just give them a real brief who you are.
Hey, I'm Jiggy. I go by Jiggalodian. I'm here in Houston. I'm a model, and I'm Winter's favorite.
And okay. And Devontae, give a quick brief who you are.
Devontae, aka Devontae the Kendrick. I live in Atlanta, acting, music, modeling, that whole 9 yards. So yeah.
Heard. And if y'all don't know me by now, I went to Harris. I do everything. Let's just keep going. I actually got a video I wanted to start out with. Like I said, it's a little bit hilarious to me. Not necessarily hilarious, like ha 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 hilarious, but it's hilarious. Like, does this make sense? But let's see what happens. So let me just share this video real quick. I want to pop off. Today's topic is going to be on gender roles. Let's see how this. Hold up. Why my video jumping out the window? Hold on. Let me share you when I share you, okay? Don't you do that. Don't jump the gun. Okay, video. Alright, here we go. Let's give it its own little screen.
Okay, so we have to get you a sword, a shield.
Can y'all hear the video?
I can hear
I think it's my internet. Hold up. I might be doing too much on my side. Let me take my phone off this bitch.
it.
Gotta make sure the audios is working and shit since last time it wasn't. We ain't like that. We don't like that. Hold on. That shit hurt my feelings last time. I ain't gonna style. You know what? I'm gonna refresh it. We do know computers. So at least sometimes they want to act how they want to act. Anyway, let me stop sharing for a second. Now, when it comes to gender roles, just to kind of give a brief before I even play the video, because I know the video may give like its own little definition. I don't want to deter anybody from what they believe gender roles may be. Shut the. Any. So, quick question. What does gender roles mean to you? Who want to start? Let me get a wave or something. Anybody got a opinion already about it, or thoughts about it already, or an idea about it?
I mean,
Don't be looking away,
traditionally.
Jiggy.
Oh, okay. Go ahead.
That guy, what you said?
I know. I was saying, like, when you first hear it, just traditionally, you think of, you know what I'm saying, man and woman. Usually, the women they prefer. Well, I'm not gonna say prefer, but just how it's put
Gotta
out
be
there.
careful.
All right, that's what I'm saying. How it's traditionally put out there as
Mm,
the woman is supposed to be the more submissive, the more um, work in the house, you know what I'm saying, let the man lead type thing. And then the man is the opposite. You feel what I'm saying? Just automatically the lead, XYZ, get the money, XYZ, blah, blah, blah. That's not the society we live in, but that's what you hear when you first hear it. You feel what I'm saying?
fair enough.
So
What about you, Jiggy? What you got on that? What you think about it?
I agree with the like traditionally. It's like the man's supposed to go out and go to work and do masculine things, and the woman is supposed to be feminine and what was the word you use? Submissive and kind of do like female stuff, soft things. Um, it's definitely not like that now, but I do feel like I feel like people like they're like halfway there. Like it's like you can do this, but you can go to work here, but or you can only make
Mm,
this amount of money, but or you can cook and clean, but don't do this. Like it's I don't know. It's pretty much all over the place. Personally, my opinion on it is I think everybody should just kind of do what works for your household and it'll probably be a better place versus you trying to make somebody be a provider who may not even be have been raised like that, or like vice versa.
So traditional versus, I guess, the way we kind of, well, the way society, I'm gonna say, because I don't know how everybody lives their personal life, but the way society is pushing the new way of doing things, overall. But I mean, I kind of agree with both of y'all when it comes to like the gender roles overall. Um, yeah, I mean, but it's kind of weird. Like, do you think it's really gender roles with all of these? I guess 276,000 genders that they have. Like, does that still apply, or does that change the narrative, or does it change the direction of what gender roles is supposed to be?
I think that's when it gets tricky because
Tricky how?
tricky in the sense that you really do got to carve out what works for your situation because again, when we hear gender roles, your brain automatically goes to masculine and feminine and what we traditionally were taught what that meant. You feel what I'm saying? So with all the other identities, I'll say, it gets tricky. You feel what I'm saying? And you can't really tell people what they're supposed to do and what they're not supposed to do. But I do think that it adds to the confusion a bit because it's like, what is what? And it's like some people are like, well, I want to do this, this, and this in the
Mm,
masculine sense, but I want to do this, this in the feminine sense, but I don't want to do that. And then that
mm,
becomes like a tailored, you know what I'm saying, type of situation to your situation, which is cool. But I think the difficult part is when those preconceived notions are already built in there, and now you trying to make this work with somebody who don't think like that. So it's like,
mm.
okay, what do you do then? The least you can do is understand it, but then it's like, okay, after you understand it, does it work for you? It comes down to personal choice.
Hmm. What you think about that, G? The smile. Oh, with the smile.
I think it's funny, but I'll agree because I think it's a matter of like um because yeah, it's confusing when you apply all these genders and identifications. Like I don't know if you have ever seen like one of them posts where like the man is pregnant and the female is like not.
I
That
saw that.
is like I don't stuff like that. I really don't think is funny because it actually like confuses the fuck out of me. Like I don't know, it's confusing. It doesn't. I don't know, and then I talk about all the time. This is a slight side note because I have my little baby. It's like by the time she gets to school, it's gonna be her friend is gonna be a fucking like not a male or a female. It's gonna be just a thing of them. And it's like I try to support as much as possible, but at the end of the day, it's confusing. It's confusing in and out the household when it comes to like all the genders that are being created.
Hmm. I agree.
That sounds crazy though, man, being pregnant. But welcome, Martha. Martha, we got you in the building. We talking about gender roles. What does
Please,
gender role
please,
mean to you? Since you just popped
please,
up, we need a
please.
whole little brief, not too long, real quick, and we're gonna continue.
Ginger roll, ginger roll. As far as a male and a female,
Hey, we talking about roles. We
like
don't know what type of genders it is.
I mean,
276,000, like I just said. You missed that
yeah,
part.
yeah. That's what I'm trying to say. Like as far as what I mean,
Whatever it means to you. I just want to
it's
know how
so
you
many.
define it before we
Me
go crazy.
personally, I feel like it's all about your strength. It's all about the individual. It's not about a role. It's about your strength and your weaknesses, what you're strong at. It's not to me personally. Gender doesn't play a big factor in who you are as an individual. It doesn't play a big factor of what you can do or what you can't do. To me personally, I just feel like it's all about your strengths, your weaknesses.
I can
And
agree with that.
it comes
I
to
definitely can agree with that. Um, I feel like that was a really strong point that she made about what you can and cannot do. I think people make that a thing like you can or you can't do this because of this and that. And I think that's when it starts to get, a little out of hand.
Right. Right. Right.
Sound like, I mean, it sounds like you saying it's more about a controlling thing, like control. Is that what I'm hearing when you say you can't tell somebody what to
Um,
do? What does that mean?
Not necessarily that, just like as far as like how it relates to other people outside of your relationship or your situation. You
Mm,
feel what I'm saying? Because again, like regardless of what we personally believe, before we got here, there were ideologies set in place. You're born into them. And then whether you agreed or not, this is what you were raised in. No matter where you went, no matter what country, it's just like what it is. You feel what I'm saying? Now, when here we are evolved into this world, we are more open-minded, I feel like, to be able to say things like that, like, well, it doesn't determine what the right and wrong or you can or can't. Whereas
mm,
back then it was like, because you're this, you gotta do this, and you can't do that because you're this. You feel what I'm saying? So
mm,
again, it's just so many, it could go around so many different times. You feel what I'm saying? But I think it's more so just to allow people to be free of what they want to do,
mm.
even if we don't agree with it, try to understand it. Um, but I can't lie and say that it doesn't get confusing because even if we understand it, it's just like, okay, you know what I'm saying? I feel you, but I don't know. You feel what I'm saying? So, what was it, Gigolodian? I definitely resonate with what you said because it's like, okay, I support it, but I don't really understand it all the time. So,
Hmm.
yeah,
All right. Well, my question is, do you think that affects the way people are dating now because of the gender roles or the lack thereof?
absolutely. Absolutely.
Go ahead, Martha. We need to hear more of you. What do you think about that?
Of course, of course. Nowadays people make it so complicated. Like I feel like dealing with social media and dealing with people that have the power to push the narrative out there, like what women should do, what men should do, how women should act, how men should act, and our preferences, what we expect from this person and that person, regardless of what gender you are. It's all about money. It's all about, money. It's all about what you can do for me. So, how can I say it? I feel like with dating, it's all fucked up.
Man, that remind me of what we was talking about on our last podcast. I'm mad the audio got messed up. We're gonna have to touch that again, but we was talking about how there's really like when it comes to relationships, it seems extremely conditional nowadays. And that's kind of backing off of what you say. It's like what can you do for me now versus what can we do together?
Right.
So it's a bit selfish in the world. But we was definitely touching on that. That's what kind of just made me think back to that. Now, when it comes to like gender roles and stuff like that, how do you feel about, let's say, the mixing of like the genders in sports? Like I've seen a MMA fight where there was a woman. I got a finger quoted. There was a woman that went against a born female, if that makes sense to y'all, and motherfucker broke his face. Like the face got broken because of the collision of these genders, or the role has been confused. Like, does that play a part into these new gender roles or ideology? You think? Like,
I
or
feel like again, like I said before, it's all about our strength because I know some women that can knock some nigga faces up too.
oh, I know I was raised by a lot of them,
So it's all about your strength,
Yeah.
and
but not a
I'm
pro fighter though. That's what I mean. Like, do you
like,
think it's damaging towards like things of professional? Like the woman of the year was what, Chris? What's his name? How was, you know what I mean? Like, it doesn't, you don't think that plays a negative part? Like, there's certain things I feel like when it comes to the roles that should align, and there's some things where you could be like, nah, I'm just better at it. So maybe Shorty fix cars and I'm good at cooking. I don't, you know what I'm saying? Go
fact.
Yeah.
ahead, baby. Do that thing. I be in there chefing at it. Like, man, you know what I'm saying? But when it comes to other things, like where it actually meets in the middle, like where we're supposed to be, I guess, in some type of unison. That, like, I think it was Cat Williams. Or, matter of fact, it was Dave Chappelle was like, "Yo, I'm about to just put a wig on LeBron James, and he's gonna play until he's gonna join the WNBA and play until he's 70." You know what I'm saying? Because there's just certain advantages and disadvantages that we have when it comes to the genders, but
Mhm.
the way it plays a part when we try to eliminate the roles of it. Like, do you think that's just going to affect the mindset of certain people, or allow them to believe that they can do more than what they can, or sometimes less? Does
Um,
that make sense? Did that make sense?
yeah, it makes sense.
Okay.
I think
Jiggy.
you want to
Kaya,
go,
yeah.
Jiggy. You want to go, Jiggy, or you want me to go?
No, you can go ahead because I need some understanding.
Oh, fair enough.
Okay.
Good.
Um, what I've learned is that there's always parallel realities happening at one time, whether we again understand, agree, or not. So on one end, I feel like, but I also see the benefit of the freedom for people to be and choose what they want. You feel what I'm saying? So it's kind of a catch 22 because it's like, okay, in some areas, I see where it benefits to have those roles that are traditionally placed for order. Where it's just more so like everyone is picking and choosing what they want for their life. And from a freedom perspective, there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. Even traditional perspective, it's not really wrong. It's just more so, is it effective? You get what I'm saying? And I think that's what we need to start asking ourselves in these situations. Like, is this the most effective for me, or is it? Or if your goal is to be inclusive with people, is this effective for this group of people? You feel what I'm saying? And I think there's a constant juggling and a battling, and a lot of us may not want to do that. So I get that as well. So it just comes down to what are you choosing?
I can't hear.
I can't hear you. I can't hear or see.
You can hear me? You can hear me? Hello?
I
Hello?
can hear.
Yeah, I can
I
hear
can
you.
hear.
Hello? Hello? All right, cool. Now, what I was saying is like overall, like when it comes to like I guess the general, there's a lot of different ways to think about it. There's I guess the professional, productive way, like kind of what you were saying. There's a relationship way about it. And I think the relationship way makes a lot more sense than I guess where it's being promoted to the public and the society. You know what I mean? Because you eliminate a lot of people. I think records wise, you make shit impossible to kind of compete wise. But when it comes to relationships, I definitely agree that do what you better at. Whatever works better for you is what you should be doing in
Yeah,
that relationship. Because maybe you're the caring, nurturing person while your shorty grew up hard. You know what I'm saying? He ain't got time for that. You know what I'm
right,
saying? Why you acting
right.
like a little bee? You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah,
I think every relationship, like when it comes to that part, needs balance. So you're gonna find somebody that's gonna be meeting your opposite. But I think the problem is that a lot of people are trying to use a societal idea that doesn't necessarily fit them just because it's promoted. So that's why I'm more of on the line. Like, what are we promoting? Like, do you agree with the way that society is pushing it upon people? Where it's just like you ashamed. Like when they say a woman that wants to be a traditional housewife, that gets shamed. Like, you know what I mean? Like that they try
yeah,
to downplay it. Whereas it's
yeah,
like, oh, you're weak. Like, why does that I don't understand that part. You know what I mean? Or if you're just a masculine man that just wants to be a masculine man, now you're toxic masculinity or toxic masculine. It's like, no, I'm
yeah.
just motherfucking me. You know what I mean? Like
Exactly.
I'm not apologetic of being who I am. You know what I mean? That's what I think on both of those sides. So it's like not everybody
Right.
wants to meet in the middle, and I think that's where it comes with. That's why I believe that no judgment or none of that shame and I think that's where it should come into place. But
Yeah, absolutely,
but
absolutely.
So let me see. I did have another question, real quick. Anybody got anything to add on to that one? Martha, I
Nah,
want to hear you more, Martha, because we need to hear some Martha.
come on, Martha.
I already know Devontae got something to say.
Man,
I
I
mean,
mean,
I'll go ahead.
I, it's all about. Like I said, I agree. I agree with mostly everything I've heard, but it's certain agendas I feel like people have that they be pushing the narrative too hard.
Mm,
Like I feel like we should be able to freely, like you say, be who we are, regardless of if I'm saying freely be who I am, but just simply as expressing my gift, expressing who I am,
mm.
versus to oh, this is what you should do, or this is law that we can have a man go beat up a woman, or
That shit
you know
crazy.
certain things. I
Yeah.
feel like it's for certain things like you can't mix oil with water. You know what I mean? Like certain things just for certain things, and
Say that
I
again. You
oil with water. You can't do it. So just let things be what it is, and stop
mm-hmm,
trying to push the narrative that it's a equal. It's equal because it's not. It's just not.
mm.
It's not equal. You know what I mean? It doesn't. Certain things. It just we have our categories. A man fight a man. A woman fight a woman. And shit. If I got a problem with a nigga, I'm gonna call my brother and be like, yo, nigga, come handle this nigga. I am not gonna have to do that myself.
Whoop.
You know what I mean? So there's a category for everything.
Or anyway.
You feel
No,
me?
I feel
Or
it. I feel it. I feel it.
but as far as dating goes, I even asked my dad, I was like, Dad, if I was to get married, would you be mad if I have a wife,
Mm.
extra wife? And it's not just about sex. It's not about
Yeah.
that.
Are you
It's
Right.
talking
it's
about
about
polygamy?
yes, it's about the community. It's about
Ain't
having more.
nothing with that. Ain't nothing you get down with. You know what I'm saying?
It's a consideration. It's a consideration.
Oh yeah.
It's something to
Hmm.
consider. It's something to look into and be able to, at least explore and see if it's something that
I feel like we
is,
touched on
is
that last
healthy.
week too.
It's
I don't
healthy.
know. My God, my bad. I ain't mean to get finish your statement. My bad.
It's
I got
okay.
excited. I'm like, oh, that's connecting. It's connecting. It's connecting. We got the Wi-Fi. It's connecting. I like it.
No,
So I mean, because you just said if you had an extra wife, so I mean, that's for one, that's going to turn somebody a traditional thinker. They're gonna be like, what? Because I think
no.
we
My
still got
dad
some
was like,
that
nah, no.
understands.
My dad was like, no, you shouldn't do that. Okay, no,
Yeah, because
that's no.
that's another thing I was wondering about gender roles. Like, does it
His
change with
tradition
those type of
too.
situations? You know, like is it? Let's say if it was LBGT or I don't even know ABCDEFGHIJK
Right,
LMNOP.
right,
You know what I mean?
right.
Does it change the scenario? Like, is there certain particular roles, or does it based on how you prefer to be perceived, or does that come down to like we said before, the relationship dynamics of who's better at what?
That's what it comes down to me. Like
Mm,
Really, it comes down to that.
we got strength, we got
The
weakness.
strength. And yeah, that's what it is though. It's just like really figuring out what your strengths are
Your
mm.
strengths are
and finding somebody that, you know what I'm saying, complements that. You feel what I'm
that's
saying?
it. That's all.
That's the simplest way to put it. Cause
Well,
that's
what's the
good
difficult
work.
way? Because I feel like the simple way was just too simple. Where I just was like, what you mean?
I
So
mean, that's really the simplest way. I mean, cause again, even within that community, it's traditional things. You feel what I'm saying? From back then
word.
to yeah,
You know
yeah,
what? You absolutely right. Because I got my big brother technically bangs, and I be like, he just be like, what the fuck is they talking about? Like he's more
Right.
disturbed about a lot of this new shit, this new wave shit. He's
yeah.
like,
Because there's usually this or this, and there's things associated with them, like masculine, feminine things. Um, but then, these days is different. It's like, oh well, I'm this, but again, I don't want to do this, this, and something. I do this, this, and it's just like, okay. So that's when it gets confusing. So I think again, knowing your strength, what she's saying, and being able to communicate it, because I think that's really what's wrong with a lot of things. Being
Yeah,
able to communicate it effectively. You feel what
yeah,
I'm saying? Like just
Mm,
because we being real and we telling the truth, and this is who I am, that's cool. But are you able to articulate that to where this other person understands it, and y'all can really
mm,
see, does this really work? Or are we trying to force each other to be something that
mhm,
we're not? You feel what I'm saying?
mm.
mhm,
Got
That
you.
parallel reality. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
Got
Yeah.
you. So it's not about, let's just say, your persona. It literally comes down to the aspect of where you stand,
Yeah.
how experienced you are in certain areas.
Pretty much.
I mean, that's,
Because
I'm trying to dumb it down so my brain can process it. I'm like, yeah,
yeah, because I mean,
for instance, your strength is organizing, and my strength is,
is that my strength?
yeah,
Shit.
stability. We complement each other on each other's strengths. Like if
Fair
I'm
enough.
not strong in organizing, but you are, but I'm
Mm,
stronger in being stable. I'm stronger in making the money and shit, but you know how to organize that shit. So we
mm. Now
complement
that
each
makes
other's
sense.
strength. We have to complement each other's strength and each other's weaknesses. When I say each other's weaknesses, is that I'm strong at what I do, so you're not really, strong at not spending your money or stuff like that. You have to acknowledge
right,
that, communicate
right,
that,
That's
say,
that
look,
balance.
I
Yeah,
spend all this goddamn money today. But it's all about complimenting, each other.
I got you. I'm gonna
That's
try this
all we
video
want.
one more time because I really wanted to, because it's supposed to be breaking down what gender roles is and the stereotypes, and I kind of just wanted everybody's feedback on it. It worked before, but let's see what happens this time. I'm gonna try it one more time. So just give it a moment. It's only like a 2 minute video.
Blue
Single other time, but I don't know. We might be pushing the bandwidth to another level. Oh, shut up, bitch. Hold on. We're done with you. Um, moving on. I do have another question. So I write my shit down. Now, how do I put this? Do you think the roles or the gender roles that you play depends on the particular relationship? Like, let's say if you've been like what Martha was saying, like, hey, I'm the breadwinner. This other person can organize. Do you think that changes depending on who you going, like who you with, or do you have to be with somebody that suits the role that you're used to playing? Jiggy, I want to go with you
I was
first.
about to say, Jiggle.
Jiggy, Jiggalody, yeah.
Repeat the question. Not everything you said, just the final question.
Now, so when it comes to the relationship aspect, right? Let's say we was
Mhm.
talking about gender roles, certain aspects. Does
Mhm.
it change depending on the relationship you're in, or do you have to find somebody that suits the role that you're used to?
Uh, I'm gonna say I'm gonna say that it depends on who I'm with because I feel like I'm with
Mm,
different people in different relationships. If that makes sense, like
mm-hmm.
there's certain relationships where I felt like I had to do every fucking thing and the nigga didn't do anything, and
Mm,
then there's other relationships that I'm like I really didn't have to do anything, but I'm not the female that doesn't want to do anything though. So I'll say when it comes to my current relationship, it was a battle because it was like, well, what do? Like what? Like what are we doing here? Like what do I do? Like what's gonna be things? Because he considers me to be a female that's like good at everything, and I don't agree with that. But like to him, he's like, you're good at so much, but so to him, it's like, well, what do you need me for? And I'm like, well, what you can do for me is not what I go after. But like in this relationship, this is probably the first relationship that I've had where we actually balance and we don't really pay attention to gender roles. Like right now, I'm doing the stay at home mom thing, and I fucking hate it. I'm
Mm,
not the person that wants to stay home all the time. I mean, it's cool to have like a provider, but I don't think that I'm a person that wants to stay home all day long. And it wasn't like that in other relationships. Other relationships, they were like, you ain't staying home. Like, you want to work too. And I think what I do like about where I'm at right now is that I have the choice. Versus being somewhere else where it's like, okay, you have to work or like it's not gonna work or you have to sit down because I was raised to be the provider and like the woman don't do nothing but take care of the
mm,
house. So I think it's different depending on the person. And I also think that you can really find somebody where y'all are used to like his side of the family, the men are the providers, my side of the family, the women are the providers. So like I feel like you can really if you really meet a person that you're going to be with for a long time, I mean, I feel
mm,
like you can find that balance. I feel like you can find what works for y'all, despite of like how you're raised.
mm. Okay. I want to hear from everybody before I rephrase the question. Go ahead. Martha, Devontae, who want to go next?
I need you to repeat it again because I
Repeat
Yeah,
it
forgot.
I'm
again.
gonna repeat it.
All right. So when it comes to gender roles, right? And we was talking about how certain people have specifics that they're good at in their roles. Do you think that role can change depending on the relationship you're in? Let's say if the partner is better than you at this thing, do you think you can switch your role? Pretty much. That's pretty much what the question is. Like, does it change depending on your partner? Or sometimes maybe that partner is bad at something that forces you to be more of something else. You know what I mean? Does that make sense?
Yeah. Um, that's a good one. It really is because when I'm really thinking about it, I feel like you generally, sorry, are gonna be who you are.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like certain people can bring things out of you. You feel what I'm saying? Good or bad,
Mm,
and vice versa. Um, I feel like in most of my relationships, I'm the direct one. I'm like, "What's up? Let's get it done now." Like, I want to deal with the conflict now. What are we doing? I'm the organizer. What we doing? You feel what I'm saying? Um, that pretty much has been who I am, but it do feel good when they can do it too. Cause you kind of get tired
mm,
of doing it. So it's like, okay, I've been in situations where I didn't have to do as much, but at the same time, it's just like, do I really like that? You feel what I'm saying? So I feel like you
mm.
could do it, but it's just like, is it something that you can do long term? I don't know. Just like Gigalodia said, she said, you're doing a stay home mom thing. You hate it. You feel what I'm saying? Because you like to be out and about. You feel what I'm saying? Well, not out and about, but you feel what I'm saying? Like your own thing. You feel what I'm saying? Let me be careful with the words. I'm just, but yeah, I feel like certain situations, people can bring different things out of you, or whatever they are or are not doing, it may awaken something in you. So it's just like
Mm.
it's cool. You can do it, but I think it's more so of a does it fit? Does it fit? You could do it. Does it fit?
Martha, what about you?
Yeah, I agree with both of them, both of y'all. It all depends. uh, it's I agree with. It depends on who you're dealing with, on what you're dealing with. You know what I mean? If if it's beneficial to me to change, I'm gonna change. I'm gonna learn. I'm gonna grow. But you know, if it's just something temporarily, I don't. I'm gonna be honest with you. Hell, no, I ain't finna try to compromise.
Oh,
I'm just saying. But just being honest, you know what I mean? Just being honest. You got to be honest with yourself first. If you ain't honest with yourself, in certain situations, most likely it's just a test. You just, you'll know when that shit real. because you gonna do the necessary things, to
Yep.
make sure that shit work. And they gonna know up front who you are, how you are, what you've been doing, and all that good stuff. So
Yeah.
you might not have to change anything. You might have to just be who you are. But shoot, I agree. It depends on who you with. You know what I mean? And I'm willing to make it happen.
So Martha, I'm gonna stick with you, and I'm gonna rephrase this question a little bit. Now,
Okay.
when it comes to the gender roles and the roles that we're talking about, does that add to the attraction? And I'm talking about the innate one. Do you believe there's innate levels of the role that will add to the level of attraction you have for your partner?
I used to think that.
That's a good.
That's a
That's
good question. I used to think
that's
that
a
when I
good.
was younger.
I'm just asking the
I was,
questions.
when I was younger, I used to think that. I used to think like, they got to look a certain way
Hmm.
and they have to, act a certain way. But the older I got and the more I started dating, I realized that, it don't really matter how a nigga look or how she look or whatever because loyalty is loyalty, you know what I mean? Good is good.
Good is
Shoot,
good.
good is good. If it's good, it's great. If it ain't, I done been with some nice looking but crazy,
Mm.
just God, annoying.
What about you, Vontae? What you think on that?
You said does the role.
Yeah, the role of that partner add to the level of attraction. Let's say if you was looking for a certain role for them to play, and they allowed you to be the maximum in the role that you like to play. Does that add to the level of attraction?
I think it does absolutely. Not necessarily looks and all that stuff because I think we all have done that. You feel what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But as far as that, they're allowing you to be what you naturally want to be or just are.
Mm-hmm.
I think it does add to the attraction because it's like, damn, you let me know that you really understand me and where I'm coming from. You feel what I'm saying? So if you're allowing me to do that and it's working, I think it does add to the attraction because at the end of the day, I feel like as human beings, we want to be understood.
That's what we was
You
talking
know what I'm
about
saying?
last week, baby.
For real. It's
Oh,
like,
crazy.
because not even to get too deep, but
No, go.
okay.
Pause. Go.
Well, okay. I had the last couple weeks, you know what I'm saying? Like a lot of people come to me for advice, da da da.
Mm-hmm.
And they're going through situations. Like we've all been through situations. And when you're telling someone who you are, you know what I'm saying, what you want, what you like, what you don't like, you know what I'm saying, how you want to show up for this person. And then the other person doesn't necessarily understand it, or they understand it, but they're trying to change things about you because it doesn't fit them. It becomes
Damn.
a situation to where it's like, okay, we're not necessarily bad people,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? But does this work? Because you want this person to become what you want them to be.
Oh, that's crazy. Yeah,
You
nah.
feel what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah, nah. You trying to change somebody?
That's what I'm saying. It's like you
It's
you
your
want this
narrative.
person, yes, you want them to become what you want them to be, so you can be who you want to be. You feel what I'm saying?
And
That's a little different than
that sounds controlling. Now that part sounds hella
that's
controlling
what
right
I'm
there.
saying, and that's what I had to tell my friends. 'Cause I'm just like,
You dealing with a narcissist at that point, in my opinion.
yeah. I'm just like, nah, because at that point you're giving up you for someone that's really not really compromising to you. You feel what I'm saying?
Mm,
It has to be a mutual, like, okay, like I see that, I see this, like we can do that, like you good at that, but I ain't good at that little. That's a compromise to me. But if you know who you are, you full of who you are, you've done your work, whatever the case may be,
mm,
and this person is trying to change things about you that you know ain't wrong. You feel what I'm
mm.
saying? It's like, maybe we're just not compatible. You feel what I'm saying?
That part.
So if someone keeps trying to make you be what you don't want to be, it comes into you start losing attraction.
Mm.
You know
Now
what I'm
look,
saying?
I'm, Jay, you got anything to add on that? Cause I'm about to flip it again.
You can flip it.
Flip it. I bet. So let's remove the gender part, but let's just talk about the roles, like the role somebody play in your life. Do you think somebody could go from, let's say, being your friend for a long period of time to being a lover?
I do.
Jiggy, what about
I
you?
definitely do.
Martha, what about you?
Mm, yeah, it's risky, but yeah.
What's risky about it?
That's what I want to know.
Everybody want to. We want.
Because when okay, I have a friend that I've been friends with for years. When you're in a relationship with somebody, it's certain expectations. It's certain things that you expect the person to do. Now, when you're not in a or frustrated with them with whatever ways they have, and y'all been friends for so long, so you can't really expect them to change anything when y'all in a relationship.
Mm.
Like a person can, like, I don't know. I have a friend, and I'm telling you, we've been friends for years, and my family, everybody be like, "Why don't y'all just be together?" Because I know that nigga. I know if I be with him, I would expect certain shit. I would expect certain things, and that would mess up our relationship. So,
What about you, Devontae?
mm,
Um,
You said it could change, right? You said yeah about it, right?
yeah,
Roles could change. So
I think it
what would it
could.
take?
Tremendous maturity.
You said what?
Tremendous maturity. That's the only way. Because it's like, just like Martha said, when you know somebody for so long, brother or sister, you feel what I'm saying? And it's just like, okay, we already know everything about each other. You feel what I'm saying? Damn near. But when it turns romantic,
Mm.
you expect a whole different ball
you
game.
do, and again, that's the slippery slope because it's like, damn, why I'm supposed to be able to expect this from you because now you my lover. But at the same time, it's like, why would I expect this when I know who you are?
Does that
You
go
feel
back
what
to
I'm
gender
saying?
roles? Like, is that the expectation from
No,
it? No,
I don't
it could
think
be
so.
anybody.
no.
I don't think so. Not
Mm-mm.
necessarily.
Why would
It's
the
more
mindset change
so.
though? If you love them for being your friend, then why would it change if they become a little bit more? Like, why is it an expectation different? I tend to do more for my friends sometimes. Well, no, that's a lie. That's a lie. That's a lie.
It's called
Well,
expectations.
I think I care for my friends more up front. Like it takes me longer to care for my, let's
But
say,
it's
my lover, because
expectations.
it's a trust level. I say I have for my friends,
It's some shit that
a proven trust level. You know what I mean? So my question is, why would that change? Because I've never got with a friend like you. My friend, you probably gonna be my friend forever. I'm sorry. Like to the friends out there, sorry. Like you're my friend. You know, I'm not gonna look at you like that. Now I'm a savage. I'm not gonna say I wouldn't, but anyway, uh, you're still gonna be my friend. But what would change in the mindset of thinking of that person in that transition? Like when does it change?
You never know, but I think it's more so like it's a realization rather.
Mm.
You feel what I'm
What?
saying? It's like you could be around somebody. I feel like even with friendship, it's like there was a time you didn't know this person. You feel what I'm saying?
True.
You chilling with them, you going to parties with them, you going to school with them, however you met, you know what I'm saying? And the situations happen in life. Maybe y'all got into a fight. Maybe there was a
True.
situation where they
True.
had to
True.
prove to show you that they had your back. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So overall that time, it's similar to a relationship without the romantic aspect. It's like you're still building the trust with the person. You feel what I'm saying? And you're letting each other into different spaces of your life. But there's no sex involved. There's no romanticism. You feel what I'm
That's the part I
saying?
think is weird.
That's the part, but that's the tricky part because it's like
That's
I'm like, depending on the type of person you are,
if
I
I
could
like it, I
see.
want to do it again. That's all I'm saying.
But
And
then
we
you could
still
do
gonna be
that,
friends, but I like this level of friendship now.
right? But the
It's
thing
hard to
is,
go
people
back
could
to
do
it.
that too. and then that could ruin it.
You talking
You feel what
about?
I'm saying? That's the tricky part because
That's
what's
dangerous.
keeping the friendship sacred is that you don't have the
Talking about
sex
we
in it. You feel
friends.
what I'm saying? You don't have that in it. So it's like,
I'm sorry.
yeah. So it's just, you know what I'm saying? I feel like, you know what I'm saying? Everybody's different.
Jiggy, you
And
agree with this? Because you don't look like you agree with. You ain't feeling this. Like fuck out of here. My friends stay in the friend zone. That's where they live.
Yeah, I
no,
agree with like some points, but
I
like
ain't do it. I'm saying I could see why.
We talking to Jiggy because I don't know about y'all. Y'all talking about friends can turn into lovers. It takes maturity. No, I don't. Jiggy, what you got on that, man?
I agree that friends can turn into lovers. First of all, I agree, but I also agree that it's probably not a good idea.
Yeah.
Um, I mean, because once you know there are friends I got that I'm like, he would be a terrible fucking lover for me. But I mean, I was friends with my current lover first. I didn't watch them rotate bitches in a million fucking. We was
Right.
cool. We was homies at first, and then it was like
Hmm.
Right.
we looked at each other and was like, "Well, we're stupid because we've been sitting right here and like we could have been did this. Like, why didn't we?"
But you see, that's what I'm saying. It was a realization.
Yeah, it's like a moment. I knew
It
I
was a
was.
realization, or was it a
I knew that I wanted to be with
realization?
him from jump. So it's not like I just looked at a friend that I've been cool with for forever and been like, you know what, we should date. It's like I kind of already knew that I wanted to date you when we became friends, but we
Okay.
we,
That's
we stayed
different. See,
friends.
that was that fake friendship. That's fake friendship. That's not a real friend. That's not what we talking about. I'm
It
talking about mutual friends. Like y'all was no, not that I'm attracted to you,
is
but I ain't gonna
mutual, but
say
I'm
shit.
respectful of the boundary.
That's different.
Right.
But that's not
Maturity.
the
That's what
same.
I'm saying.
That's conditional
Maturity.
friendship. Right? That's what dudes
Yeah.
do when they in the friend zone. Hey, if she let me smash, but until then, I'm gonna be, we friends. But if I can, what I'm saying? That's what Jiggy was on. She was like, if I could,
That's right.
what I'm saying? She took the first opportunity and hopped on that bouncy ball. You know what I'm talking about?
Oh my
Workout.
god, not true. Yeah, fun fact: we actually was fucking first, and then he friend zoned me,
So
and
You
it
left
did.
that
It
out.
was never
You
friends. This
left
don't
that
even
out.
count.
You left that out.
that
Yeah.
that
You changed the whole scenario. Like,
it's a
no.
friend.
Are we talking about that? Do you think you could be mutual friends that could turn into love? Because you talking about no. You
All right,
over
I
here
still
was like,
don't change
I'm
my
a friend zone
answer.
it, but I want it. But if you ever horny, I'm around. Jiggy sneaky than a motherfucker. She's sneaky.
More.
Yo. She said, I want to link up sneakily.
Oh my god.
Sneakily. That's not what y'all was
Mm-mm.
talking about, right? Malta, Devontae, that's not what y'all was talking about, right? Y'all not talking
Nah.
about starting it off with a back of the mind. I want you in a way. That's not what y'all was
Nah.
talking about, right? Just want to make sure I'm
We,
understanding everybody.
we just friends.
Just friends, right? Because that's what I was understanding. Jiggy a sneaky ass. She was like, I got him. I got the baby. You ain't gonna know it. Hey.
That's a good one. Hey,
Hey, you gonna do what you
so
gonna do.
friends can become lovers.
Right, I
Okay.
still agree, even though.
I still
So I got
agree.
you. I totally get it.
But I mean, no bullshit. I really do think it's possible. I think it's possible. You know what I'm saying? Because
I think it's possible Jiggy's way. That's the way
I
I
think
was
it's
talking about.
possible
She ended up
even
saying
without
it though.
Jiggy's way. It's possible. You know what I'm saying? But like I said, it takes tremendous maturity to do that because it's like you really gotta see. Okay, I've known this mother since first grade, second grade. Da, 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 now we up here, and it's just like, damn, they've been here this whole time. Like I could see why someone's brain
I'm
would
gonna
do
bring
that.
it back to my question. I gotta cut you off. So when does the mentality change though? What would it
That's
take to start?
everybody. It's
Like, do
different for
you have to
everybody.
go through a traumatic failures of I want this person, let me have this person,
Yeah.
this don't work, that don't work, and then you be like, let me see who's left, and you turn around, oh shit, you right here. You are right there the whole time. Damn, look at you looking at me. You've been there. Is it like that? Like, what does it take? Like, when does it click? Like, oh, I should be with this person. That's what I want to. That's what I was trying to understand. Or do you have to be thinking like Jiggy? Like, if you drop it, I'll pick it up.
I think it's multiple situations. It is, but that's what I'm saying. I could see why just detached from the situation. I could see why somebody who has someone that has been consistent their whole life or for a
Mm,
long period of time, all their relationships is failing. You feel what I'm saying? And
mm,
then say something happens, a traumatic event, and then that person is still there. It'd be like
mm,
I could see their brain be like, damn. I've been looking for this my whole life, and you've been here the whole time. And then they agree, and then boom. I can see that. I'm not saying it's the best thing to do because there is a risk there, but that's why I said it really don't have to be that much of a risk if y'all mature. Like, look, we still gonna be friends if this shit don't work out because I'm not gonna throw all of that away just because of this if we ain't agree.
mm.
But that takes maturity to deal with them feelings, deal with y'all had sex, we just did this, we made a whole leap, everybody know. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I don't think you should throw your friendship away just because the relationship didn't work out. I think that's the immature part. You feel what I'm
Mm.
saying? Because it's like, how I'm
Nah,
gonna
that's
throw this away?
relationship's over.
Because
You
yeah,
can't be friends with somebody you sleep with, in my opinion. That's not friendship at that point. That's a mate. That turns into a mate.
maturity, maturity.
Because just like I don't think you could go back from having sex with somebody and go back to being friends. No, that's a mate. That's a mate that you're just not sleeping with at the moment.
But I feel like, listen, like again, I don't think it's the smart
Once
thing
I
to
touch your
do.
insides, we can never be outside.
I don't think. I don't think it's the smart
I'm
thing to
just
do.
saying.
I don't think it's smart to
I
do.
don't know
But
how
I'm not
everybody else
saying
think,
that
but
you
I'm just
can't do
saying.
it.
I
I
don't
don't.
know about that now. I think I
Yeah,
can still be. I can still be friends with somebody on the smash before.
it's not necessarily
Yeah.
friends though.
Yes,
That's just a
that's
mate
my
that you didn't
friend,
pick.
and
That's a
ain't
mate that didn't
nobody
go
gonna know
well.
we fuck. That's my friend, and it's between me and him.
That's a fuck you didn't like, pretty much.
Pretty,
That's not.
Huh?
That's still a.
pretty.
That's a smash you didn't like.
No, I like them. It just be hey.
But friends is
You
mutual
know
though.
my friend though, folks.
We got to define what friend is. Then let's define what a friend is because
A
what you're
friend
saying is
somebody
no
you do
longer a friend.
everything
That's
with.
not a dating option. A friend is somebody that's not a dating option. So
No.
smashing is a dating option. That's a mating option.
Mm-mm.
Here
You
I
want
we
to Google?
go.
disagree.
Let's Google it. We got to
The
Google
I
it.
gender
disagree.
you going with the gender role.
I know, right? I disagree.
It's
How? We talking about what a friend is, right?
because you
Y'all
thinking black
define
and
friends
white.
differently.
Because you thinking black and white.
Yeah.
There's a gray in friendship.
No, no, no.
Nope. So what am I?
Listen.
So
But
explain to
listen,
me what I'm. Where am I getting it wrong?
I'm trying to explain. What I'm saying is, generally, like I said, there's two parallel realities always going on. So, looking at it from your perspective, absolutely, there should not be any of that happening. But people are different at different stages of their life. Where you're younger, you may have took that chance with this person, and like, oh, I really thought it was going. Da, da, da. Y'all had sex. Da, da, da. Then years later, 10 years later, you like. We was kids, you know what I'm saying? Like, what the hell? You feel what I'm saying? Like, that was stupid. Like, y'all friends. It may not be what you want to do. I'm not saying anybody should do it. I'm saying you change. So it may have looked good when you was younger, but when you got to, I don't know, 30, 40,
Mm-hmm.
you like, that's my dog. You know what I'm saying? Like that, man, we tried it, but it ain't work. Like, you know what I'm saying? And you laugh it off and you keep
Mm-hmm.
going. It
Fact.
ain't that deep to be like, once I fuck you was done. It's
Right.
like, I don't
Right.
think like that.
Facts.
It can be though,
That's
but
the
it can
guideline.
be.
Absolutely. You need that. You need that
It
guideline.
can
But
be
certain people, you know what I'm saying, may
because
make you want to try some shit.
the
Right.
thing about it, right? I hear where you coming from, right?
Yeah.
But the mentality, like what you're saying, only can change for one person.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying? Like if I didn't like the sex, you did. I want to be your friend, but that's not the way you think. But you're going to compromise how you actually feel, just so I can continue to be in your life.
But
That's
how do you
not
know that the other person didn't feel that way?
how do I mean. Nope. Who would actually admit that though?
That's what I said. Maturity.
Maturity is not
That
sleeping
takes
with your
maturity.
friends though. That's a no, not to sleep with your friends. Am I right?
You get there and then you go back. You get there, then you go back. You get there, then you
Y'all,
go back.
y'all are walking on eggshells with that one. Like, what is it? Which one is
No,
it?
I just like I
He
said,
said it
I
depends
like
on the
I live
situation. It depends on the situation. It changes. Like, oh wait, what?
because you change as a person.
So a friend is not exclusive from sex?
No,
No, they
exactly.
are.
No.
That's what I'm saying. As
No,
a
G said
general,
no.
hold on. No, no,
no,
no, no, no, no, no, no,
no,
no, no,
it's
no.
not.
She be plotting. She be
A friend can you can do
plotting.
everything with
Gotcha.
a
That's what
friend.
she was like.
This is what I'm saying.
You can do everything with a
When
friend.
I think of a
You can do
friend,
Everything.
everything with friends? Oh,
when
we
I
going
think
for
Everything.
no,
next
no,
year.
no.
Okay.
When I think about a friend, I don't think about
Well,
having
I
sex with
like
my
being your
friend.
friend, Martha. I'm gonna come see you soon. We gonna be some real good friends. Ha ha! I got a role for you, baby.
Look, you got, but you got friend zones.
Hey,
You got
I ain't a
friend
friend
zones.
zone type of friend. Continue.
You got friend zones.
Great man.
No, I want to be the friend that you talking about. You know what I'm saying? Let's do everything. That's what it's if that's what it's coming down to. But no, I mean that's a different perspective. I can see where everybody's coming from. I just don't agree that that's like if you take years apart away from somebody, I can see you eventually becoming friends. But I think that's just kind of rough to get past, just because that's such an intimate thing to do with somebody that you consider a friend. Emotions may come back out of nowhere, you know. Feelings could come back out of nowhere, or you can think like, "Oh, it didn't work then. Maybe it can work now."
Maturity, maturity.
That's not. It has nothing to do with maturity.
It has everything to do with
Everything.
maturity.
How?
Everything to do with maturity.
I'm gonna let you have this one, Devontae.
So emotions can't come out. So emotions is not something that you feel in the act of something like
I'm
your
not
experience with
disagreeing with
somebody.
you.
You be like, this person
I'm
matured.
not
It could probably
disagreeing.
work now.
No, no, no. What I'm saying to you
What we talking about?
is the maturity mentally and emotionally, because if it come back up, you should be able to have control over that. Like, look, that's old. You feel what I'm saying? We already tried
Mommy.
that. It should be laid to rest, or you should have some type of skill to where you're able to keep that under control. If you can't, don't do it.
So
You
is
feel
that
what
a
I'm
friend at
saying?
that point though? That's what I'm asking you. You see how that's not a friend? That's not a friend. That is a mating option. An ex mating option that you're trying to put in a friend zone.
I'm talking
You,
about years later.
years later, years
That's
later.
what that's what you said. That's what I was commenting on.
I'm just saying. Years later, we still cool peace. You know what I mean? That's not. I don't know. Like, it doesn't sound like a friend. It sounds like somebody you trying to keep in a certain position. You know what I mean? But I
I
don't
don't
know.
know. I
Everybody
don't
might
know.
see that a little
No,
different.
Maturity. I got
no.
friends. I got friends. So
You got friends, but
hell
you
yeah.
already said you do everything with your friends. I can't even hear what you saying.
No,
When you said that,
what
I
I'm
don't know
saying
what that means.
what I'm saying is with maturity,
Yeah.
like you said, I have friends that I have grown up with that I consider like family right now. You know,
Yeah,
it's not, and I would never go over there trying to have any other intentions but what's up,
Hmm.
friend?
right.
I mean, I done seen the girlfriends, I done dealt
Yeah,
with them on different levels, so I don't look at them the same way like when we were intimate and shit. It
right.
was a time we were going strong, but then as years went by, life went on, life, and you got mature, and I
Mature.
can still call my friend and be like, "Look, I'm having a party. Y'all pull up." You know what I mean? And it's they gonna pull up, and we have a good time with me and my niggas and my homies.
Because
So
that chapter has passed. It's
that
old. It's
chapter
not
is
I
even.
get that.
over.
I get
It
what you're
ain't.
saying. I
Yeah,
just
it's
think that
not.
the level of attraction that you can have for somebody to
And this
equal, let's say,
motherfucking nigga
sex.
was fine now. Don't get it twisted now.
I
Don't get
don't
it
think that
twisted.
never.
Like,
That's what I'm saying. I don't think
nigga
that
was
aspect
fine.
ever really
But it's
disappears.
like,
You know
that
what I
shit
mean?
touched
You
out.
don't think what disappears?
The level of attraction that you need to pursue something more than friendship. I don't think that level of attraction will disappear no matter the level of maturity you have. Like attraction is
Mm.
attraction. If it becomes a mating level of attraction, that's kind of hard to dissipate. So it's like you don't think so?
Uh,
See, y'all just on some. I don't know, a little bit different. We going
Okay,
something differently on that.
I
Y'all be
believe we
plotting,
all over a certain age up in here.
huh? What you
it's
say?
all about it's all about growth. You know,
it's
you
growth.
it's all about growth. Like, ain't no pressure. You know what I mean? I know I ain't no ugly person. Everybody. I don't know. I don't think. I think you thinking about it too
I'm asking
in depth.
questions. I ain't thinking about it nothing in no way.
No,
I'm
I'm just
asking
saying
a
when you
question.
say when you
I'm
ask that
hosting.
question. No, when you ask not saying it like that, but when you ask that question, it's almost
Hmm.
like, or when you say that, it's almost like, I don't think that's the way it should
Possible.
be. I
Yeah,
don't think that's possible, but it's possible.
Mm.
it's
It's
possible.
possible with maturity, like he said, with growth, with understanding, with growth of your inner self.
So is it kind of like learning how to love somebody in a new way? Where's
Yes,
she going? Martha? Martha. All right, Martha looked frozen. But yeah, is it like learning how to love somebody in a new way? That's pretty much what I'm
absolutely,
hearing from you guys. But I'm not, nobody
absolutely.
really said it that way. So
Yeah,
maturity, y'all saying maturity. Once you, anybody could be
it's
mature.
it's it's learning to love somebody in a new way because it's like
I'm
love is love is phases. You feel what I'm saying?
that's what I'm
It
love comes
constantly
and goes though. It's like the
it
weather.
constantly it don't come and go. It transitions. It transforms. You feel what I'm saying? It's like say if you got a friend, you love this friend for whatever reason. You feel what I'm saying? We may fall out. You feel what I'm saying? I love you. I don't fuck with you. You feel what I'm saying? I
Mm.
don't want you to die. I don't think you know what I'm saying. None of that shit is just like I still love you as a person. I love you for who we were together. You feel what I'm saying? What we built. But I don't like you enough to want to be with you. You feel what I'm saying? I don't
Mm.
want to be around you. Like we not that type of friend no more. You know what I'm saying? I always got love for you. Like I'm not just hating it. I fucking hate you. None of that. It's
Mm.
just like I love you. I don't like you like that. Same thing with the romantic shit. It's like, oh, I love you. You still look good. You know what I'm saying? But I don't like you like that. Like I ain't sexually attracted to you no more. It's just
So I
I
want to
like
point
you.
out a comment that I see right now where they said attraction ain't just physical,
It's not.
which I believe. So I'm thinking that with the more somebody matures, when you become more attracted to them, because attraction is not just physical. You already had physical. That's what led to the sex.
But that's
So
what.
that's what I'm.
But
That's where I'm losing my. I'm just like, how is it possible to be friends with somebody you slept with?
because at the end of the day, like I said, the growth. Whoever you were at that time, um, whoever you were at the time, for some reason y'all wanted to try that. You get what I'm saying? And then when you go into it, you could realize like, oh wait, that ain't what I saw. You feel what I'm saying? Or I thought it was this, but it really ain't that. Or you maybe didn't know yourself at that time. You feel what I'm saying? So it's like that's what I'm saying. It's like it's more so of a mistake. It's like a growth thing. It's like, okay, we tried it because at that time I really thought that we could have da 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 da. But now when you change, it's like the fuck was I thinking? You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like that happens a lot. You be like looking at something, you be like, damn, what the fuck was I thinking with that? Like,
Yeah,
you know
yeah.
what I'm saying? It's life is more so of a growth. So it's like, yeah, that was my friend. I tried to do da 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 da. We realized, nah, because we weren't where we were supposed to be. You feel what I'm saying? We were
Mhm.
supposed to be where we were at the time. I liked who you were so much at the time that I thought, nah, it probably it's more than that because I ain't never liked nobody like this. But then you do it and you realize, Nah, that's not what I thought it was gonna be. So then later it's like nothing truly bad happened to where I hate you. You feel what I'm saying? It just like it just didn't work. We wasn't compatible. We were young. We didn't know better. Whatever the fuck. And then you see
Mm,
later you make rekindle and be like, we were so stupid. Like remember this, remember that, and then you just still got that bond. But I don't want to fuck you. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to do none of that. You know what I'm saying? Like I want to see
mm.
you happy. I want you to grow. Da 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 da. You want to go to get the drink. Da da da. Cool.
I might be
But
too immature then. I might still be
that's what I'm
immature.
saying. That's what I'm
Because
saying.
I'm
That
like,
takes is takes
fuck
a lot.
you. Goodbye.
It's maturity. You got to be able to process all them feelings and be like,
Yeah.
damn, I gotta let go of that. You
Hmm.
feel what I'm saying?
Well,
Or they gotta let go.
I'm personally just a little bit different. Just like I don't get into relationships often because I just don't really care for a lot of people. But when I care for somebody, I care for them dearly. So when it comes to that type of shit, like me personally, I just don't play around with it. And if I had feelings for you, it's hard for me to say I won't have feelings for you again. So I'd rather just disconnect completely. So
Yeah,
as your friend or as your ex lover, mate, whatever it may be, it's easier for me to move on when I'm not keeping you in the back pocket. Pretty much, that's the way I look at it. It's like a back pocket keeper. Cause
yeah.
any
It's
moment
and
you can
that.
pull that motherfucker back out the pocket, like, you know what? You know what? And I don't know if that's maturity or not at the end of the day, because that could just be the way that somebody love. I love hard. I love extremely hard. You know what I mean? And I think
Yeah,
for anybody to be able to go from a friend, because you're gonna love your friend, you're gonna love them in a certain way, but to
yeah,
go forward and then backtrack, that's a little. I think that's just very challenging. I think that's a big obstacle. I don't think that necessarily is maturity. I think it's just a love level. Like some people, because if you're willing to take a step forward, is probably in any relationship, there's somebody that cared a little bit more. So
yeah,
it's going to be somebody that's going to be more hurt than the other.
yeah. And that's the person that has to be mature enough with their emotions to learn how to
He
let go.
said, "Fuck you, get over it. Let's get some drinks." Like,
No, 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 but
damn,
like on some real
that's what
talk,
I
like
heard. I don't know what you're
not,
saying.
not, but not like right after. I think it
Is
would
that
take
what you heard,
time.
people?
I think it takes time. I don't know if you could do it right
Damn.
after. Like that's harsh
You
to do
said
it
you
right
said it's
after.
harsh.
That's harsh to do it right after. Like,
So right
oh, it
now,
didn't work. Like we friends. That's fucked up. You feel what I'm saying? Now,
let's get some drinks right after. Now, yeah, that's crazy to even think of it that way. Jiggy, I ain't hearing from you in a minute. What's up with you? What's going on? What you think about that?
Nothing. I'm just tuned in to what y'all. I said what I had to say about it.
Yeah, yo, she a sniper. I like it though. She's sniping. She know her target.
he
She said,
said we
"I'm gonna
was
hit it
doing
from a
it before
distance,
we
but
was
I'm gonna hit the
friends.
target." Yo, I ain't gonna lie. I try to be a sniper like Jiggy. I'm just not as efficient, obviously. But no, that's dope. Overall, because I think all of it comes down to like the roles we play in people's lives. Because that's why we talked about gender roles at first, but then it comes to roles in relationship, roles with the friendship, roles in the mating ship that didn't work. Go ahead,
I got a question.
go ahead.
So, in regards to friendship turning
Mhm.
into love, X, Y, Z, da da da, do you think that it's important to have a friendship with the person that you in a relationship with?
No,
What? What drug?
no, I do not.
Woo! Okay, go Jiggy, cause
Go
I
ahead,
want to
Jiggy.
hear.
I feel like you got to.
You have to go
You
ahead.
have to. You have to be friends first. Like I'm not
Why?
saying because I feel like the person I know, like sometimes he don't need me to be his girl. Like when he's like, say it's like some real going on that has nothing to do with the relationship. He don't want the girlfriend answer all the time. He wants the friend answer, like a genuine friend answer, like what do you think about this? Or
Does he have
oh,
friends?
does he have? I mean, he has friends, but
Why not ask them?
it's like he don't maybe because he don't know how much that friend would care, like how much that
Doesn't
friend
sound
cares.
like a real friend to me.
I feel like there's a level of trust when it comes to like we were talking about before. There's level of trust with just regular friends and only friends. I know that if I go to him and I'm like, I don't need the boyfriend
Now
answer right
remember the
now.
question. He asked me if you need to have a friendship.
Yes,
Need.
the
I
answer
said you
is
don't
still
need.
you do
Not every
need it.
relationship works like that. sometimes it's a little bit too much for your partner to be your friend and your lover at the same time, because we
Right.
have a certain role that we need to stick to. So it makes it a little bit easier if we can separate the two. That's why you have your friends and I have my friends. I can be this way with my friends and I'm gonna be this way with you. Maybe I want to be soft and sweet with you, but I want to be like, yo, bro, fuck that shit with my people. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think you
It's a
necessarily
different.
need that for the relationship.
It's
There's
a
a certain
different
level
level
of
of friendship.
understanding of your partner. I feel like you need understanding, but not necessarily a friendship. Friendship is backwards, in my opinion. You got to understand your mate, though.
I'm gonna tell you from watching, and this may be a little bit different because I know how you think. So maybe not a relationship. You feel what I'm saying? Per se, but you're gonna get a relationship before you get to marriage. Correct. A lot of the
I would
people
hope
that
so,
I've
unless I'm
asked.
buying it, bitch. You know what I'm
All right, all right, look, look. So majority of the people that I've talked to that
uh-huh.
were happily married, they always said, "I married my best friend."
That's cliche, though. A lot of times, that's not even true.
I said the ones that I spoke to that are
I heard.
happily married, they said, "I married my best friend." Your friends that you have outside of a relationship, that's a different level of friendship. You feel what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
There's levels of all type of shit. It's like your friend, you got the friends that you party with, you got the friends that you cry to, you got the friends that. Then that gets smaller over the years. You feel what I'm saying? And you start
Facts.
cutting shit out. Like I don't
Facts.
even need that no more. I just need this. Da da da.
Yep.
Boom.
That doesn't suit me anymore.
Right. So when it
Mm-hmm.
comes to your relationship, your partner, in a sense, becomes somewhat of a friend. I'm not saying everything because that's the problem. We again the black and white thinking sometimes. It's like we were like, you gotta be my friend, my lover, my this, my that. That shit
That's
is
overwhelming.
when but that's overwhelming. But there's nothing wrong with being like, okay, this is my partner, whatever the case may be. But it's a friend in the sense that you may tell this friend stuff that you can't tell nobody else. That's the intimacy that you have with your partner as opposed to other people. Because even when you're in a relationship, the person that you're in a relationship with sees way more shit than your parents and your friends. That's when it gets messy. Because now, whatever's going on in our relationship, we could paint all type of pictures to everybody else about what's really going on, good or bad. But
Mm-hmm.
only we know what's up. So it just depends on how you define it. But I see what people mean when they say, this is my friend too.
Mm.
Because certain shit is not always just romantic. It's like, damn, you may go to your boo like, hey, like, this is my idea for this. And all your friends be like, man, that shit ain't gonna work. You feel what I'm saying? And then your friend that you in a
Mm-hmm.
relationship with, that's what they call it, boyfriend, girlfriend, you feel what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
They might be like, man, fuck them. You could do it. You feel what I'm saying? That's not just no romantic shit. That's like, damn, you my friend. Like, I love you. I want to see you win. You know what I'm saying? Regardless if we together or not. You feel what I'm saying? That everybody else has the propensity to switch, and they could switch too. But if you are committed to somebody, it's supposed to be a little different than everybody else outside it. That's why relationships and marriages are sacred. Everybody don't treat it like that, but that's the point. Because otherwise, just be single and be with your friend.
I guess. But the question that you asked me is, do you need? You said, do you need to be friends first? And I'm saying no. I still say no because every relationship doesn't lead to, let's say, us being friends first and then something
I
more
didn't say
serious.
first
I
though.
think. What was the question then? If I'm getting it wrong,
I said, do you need to be friends, not first?
or
You
friends
feel what
in
I'm saying?
general?
There
No.
has to be a
No,
bond there.
I think it needs to be understanding. You need to have understanding. That's what we was talking about last week when we was talking about to even be able to love somebody unconditionally is really more about understanding them. So necessarily you may grow a deeper relationship, but it's not a friendship. Friendship is exclusive from all of that extra shit that we feel when it comes to our partner. That's when you feel that love, that in love, that I want to put them first type shit sometimes, or I want to build them. That's not friendship at that point. You know what I mean? That's you can never go backwards to friendship once you're in a relationship. that you find serious. That's what I'm saying. So you
But
don't
you,
necessarily need friendship. You do need an understanding partner, or you have to be that understanding partner. That's not necessarily,
but
friends,
it's
but
not
that's why I think it's more
backwards.
cliche.
No, but it's not backwards. It's you get both.
How? You can look at your partner and be like
While
not.
you're hold on up.
It's always gonna be that
While
extra
you're
level of extraness. That's what doesn't
but
allow it to be friendship anymore.
while you're dating, right before you get into a relationship,
Hmm.
what is that called?
You said while you're dating,
What is that called when you get
mating
into know
season, baby,
someone?
mating season.
Mating. Okay, got that. What do you call that? Like, what are y'all? If somebody asks, like, what y'all doing?
Booty call. What,
We
what are you
dating?
trying to get me to say?
We dating? I'm not trying to get you to say nothing. I'm just talking to see what you call that.
I mean, I don't really call it anything. It's nothing until it's something.
So it's nothing until it's the relationship.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't like I just told you, I'm not one of those people that I don't frivolously date people. I don't frivolously get into that boyfriend, girlfriend title shit. That shit is stupid to me. So until I get an understanding or they get an understanding of who I am, we're not really doing anything. We're just getting to know each other. We're in the understanding phase. And if you can't understand me, like you can tell from my personality, I'm brash. I'm an ass sometimes. Or I would come off of that if you don't have understanding of where I'm coming from. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? Matter of fact, even Jiggy, she came and impressed me the first time I met her. She was like, "Yo, fuck that nigga."
That
Oh,
is not
like, yeah.
true.
And then when she got to know me, she was like, "Oh shit, I didn't even know. My bad." Matter of fact, share that story, Jiggy. Please share that story.
No, you gotta share it
Please.
because I
Go
don't
for the
remember that.
story, Jiggy.
I don't remember that, Winter. No.
I was like,
Winter,
"Do you know me?" She's
yes.
like, "Yeah, we got something to talk about." I was like, "Oh, we got something to talk about. Let's
No,
talk
I
about it."
remember. Wow.
And then we talked about it. It was a complete misunderstanding. So I'm just a direct person. And I think that's what it said. It comes down to understanding. Most people aren't used to somebody being direct, honest, and coming from a good place. Like they're expecting it to be a bash or a judgment or something hard. No, hey, listen, this will look a lot better if it was this way. Or hey, this will suit you a lot better if it was this. It's not hating. I'm just saying, hey, this is what I see. But
Yeah.
we call that critique because I went to art school, so that's unwanted advice. So unwanted advice can come off however you receive it a lot of times. So that's what happens. But I think that's the same thing in relationships. You need to be on an understanding level. Now, if you feel you have to start as a friendship, in my opinion, I think that's like slow tracking when you can go and with that partner. Because now that just leaves me opportunity to start having a bunch of different friends. And I think friends, too many friends around, kind of, what are we doing? Dating everybody? Is that
But that's what dating is.
you date your friends? I don't date my
No,
friends.
no, 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 no. That's not
That's what
what
I'm
I'm saying.
saying. Like, why would I
I've
want
never dated my friend. That's what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, in a world
to?
where people label shit,
Yeah.
right? That's where the term boyfriend and girlfriend come from. You feel what I'm saying? I get what you're saying. I'm
Hmm.
not opposed to what you're saying. What I'm
Hmm.
saying is everybody don't think like you. You know that.
Of course.
Right. So what I'm saying is a lot of people when they develop that understanding with someone
Hmm.
that you're talking about, and you get to the point where, oh, I want to be with this person in a relationship, they call that understanding we have a friendship.
So this is my follow up question to your question. Now we live in a world of everybody trying to complete the perfect fantasy. Now, do you think
Mhm.
that's going to be an ideology? I said that horrible, but do you think that's an idea in some people's brain where they think that they have to be friends and that's what stops them from getting in the proper relationship?
I think that people don't know what the hell they even doing.
Well, we know
For
that.
real. I
We
don't
know that.
I think people are saying shit that they don't necessarily understand. You feel what I'm
Mm,
saying? It's like, oh yeah, well, we got to be friends first, and then it's like, okay, you get the friend, then it ain't really what I thought, and da da da. Da. You feel what I'm saying? Or they
yeah.
say, I don't have to be friends, and I rush in, and then after they do it and it don't work, it's like, oh well, damn, I should have taken more time to get to know them. Like, I see what people saying, we should have been friends first. It. it just depends. You feel what I'm saying? Like
Mm,
everybody is literally different. That's why I said, as far as when I date, that understanding that you're talking about, you get to the point where I'm be like, damn, do I even like this person? You feel what I'm saying?
mm,
When I realize that I like you, but we ain't in a relationship,
mm,
damn, you could call that a friendship. You know what I'm saying? We have developed a bond at that point. You feel what I'm saying? There's still that possibility of the romanticism that's coming into play. You feel what I'm saying? It's
mm,
there. That's the point why you're doing this. But you don't know these people. You feel what I'm saying? So when you first meet them, what do you call that?
mm.
Once you start liking them, like, yeah, I met somebody like, oh, that's my associate. You don't say that all the time. You be like, oh, that's my friend. You know what I'm saying?
Facts.
And then they figure it out. It's like, oh, like they just fuck. You know what I'm saying? You be like, nah, that's just my friend. You feel what I'm saying? And like you said, it's always somebody that cares more. So you expecting it to be this, but they looking at you like, nah, we friends. We building this. You feel what I'm saying? Which
That
comes
part.
back to the communication. But a lot of people, I think everybody's just defining it differently. You feel what I'm saying? I think that's what it is because we're essentially saying the same thing. I'm just saying I define that as becoming a friend. You saying it's not friend. We just need an understanding. But I'm saying the understanding is building a friendship.
Now I get what you're saying. I'm just a big person on wordplay. You know that. So
Yeah,
like the definition of friend doesn't suit what I would want as a lover or a partner at the end of the day.
yeah, yeah,
So that's why it's more of a building a familiarity with that
yeah.
person, and that way you have an understanding of who you're actually getting into this longer, bigger deal with at the end of the day. But yeah, overall we kind of saying similar things, but I definitely do think some people are looking for that perfect, oh, this my friend, this that cliche type things that doesn't necessarily work. Sometimes your best mate is a person that don't have nothing in common with you except that y'all love each other and y'all like doing certain things together. Outside of that, y'all have everything that's separate. Like I'm an entertainer and everything. My partners typically aren't doing anything I'm doing. They're doing medical shit. They're teaching teachers. They doing shit that has nothing to do with what I'm doing. It works out perfectly. What I realized, at least for me, I don't know about anybody else, but when somebody that has too much in common with me, it becomes more of a competition. It's like, oh, I'm better at this than it's like, what the fuck? Who cares? You know what I'm saying? But that's my experience. I've seen it from other people's experience, but that's just what I've learned a little bit more. So that's what I'm saying. It's not necessarily a friendship. It's the perfect mate or that perfect opposite, that balance to your that yin to your yang. You know what I'm saying? I think that's more of what somebody's looking for when it comes to building a romantic relationship. Now we're just talking about a friendship relationship. Yeah, let's get familiar with each other. Let me make sure you're not capping. Let me make sure you're not full of shit. Let me make sure you're not out there getting into shit that's gonna have me follow up because I'm your friend and now I'm in some shit too. You know what I mean? Like that's a little bit different. But familiarity, you need that with all of the above. And I don't, it can lead to either friendship or it could turn romantic. And I think that's the difference because it doesn't become friendship until it's proven. And that's what I think. Like any of these titles, it has to be proven. And that comes with experience and time with that person. But overall, I got one last question and we're going to wrap it up on this one. Woo! Here we go. What do you think is the biggest issue when it comes to these roles? Give me three negatives and three positives. You could either be removing or just the roles that we were talking about in general. Pros and cons.
Three negatives. Um, they can be very limiting.
That's a pro or a con?
That's a con.
You're like the pro is that they could be limiting. I don't want a lot of
No, no,
options.
no, no, no.
Nah, go ahead.
The con could be that they could be limiting.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Sometimes outdated.
That
You feel
part.
what I'm saying?
That's true.
And the third one is I think those are the main two. I can't really come up
So give
with
me the
three.
pros then. Go ahead. You don't got to give me
So
all
the
three.
pros, depending on what side of the coin you on, it's free.
There's
It's
somebody
freedom.
always gonna lose. That's what I'm saying. It's gonna be a loser in these
Yeah, it's
situations.
like it depending on how you look at it, freedom. You feel what I'm saying? You're free to be and choose whatever you want that works for you.
Okay.
Um, that's really it, the big one for me, because you're free to do what you need to do. You can formulate it to fit your life. Forgot the last one. The last one,
Is this the con?
um, yeah, too many options. Because
Yeah.
on one end, it could be limiting if it's the old way. The new way, you're free to do all of it, but you kind of got too many options to what you want it to be. And as soon as it doesn't suit you, it's like you could change, you could change, you could change, you could change. And you could do that.
Mm,
But at the same time, it's just like it becomes this unquenchable thirst. And it's just like you gotta remember you dealing with a human being. So if you telling somebody this, and this, but this, okay.
mm,
That thing that you're not willing to do may be the only thing that causes it to be a deal breaker. Now you got
mm.
to bring that list to somebody else. And
That's
then
a
you can
fact.
start thinking that what you doing or what you're saying, you asking for too much. But really, maybe you just asking the wrong person. Or am I wrong? Because maybe I should change. It becomes too much to think about. So then it's just like, damn, is this why we have to do the traditional way? You know what I'm
Mm.
saying? Like, not have to, but you get what I'm saying. It's like, it makes it a little bit simpler. But then it's like,
Yeah.
do I agree with
Simplifies the
all of it?
situation.
It's like, do I agree with all of it though? And it's like, 9 out of 10, probably not. So it's like,
I feel it. I feel it. What about
yeah,
you, Jiggy? What you think? What's the pros and cons? What you got?
Repeat the question. Pros and cons of.
Everything that we was talking about, from gender
gender
roles to the
roles in
roles in
general, like
relationships, you can
even
go
decide.
whichever way you want. You can say, "Hey, this is what I think about the gender role pros and cons." This other pros and cons. Just give me some pros and cons that you came up with or thought about, at least in this session.
I'll go with the ones I agree with first that Devontae said about the cons being like I think it's very limiting and like you kind of put yourself in a box to not mature and to not grow if you're not tapping into like both the masculine and feminine energy. Only because I feel like people associate that with just being male and female, and that's not the case.
Right.
Sometimes your man expressing feminine energy just means he might be a little nicer to you, and it has
Or
nothing
he
to
might
do.
slap you.
Oh my gosh, Winter!
I'm just saying, bitch.
Right. So if he's a hidden ass person and a
I'm
woman
just
being,
saying. We talking about energies. Just talking about energies. But hey, I'm just saying. I'm
that's
just
true
joking.
though. But like I said, him tapping into his feminine side may, allow him to stop smacking the shit out you. So that's my con though. It could be very limiting and put you in a box. And then pros. Pros when it comes to gender roles. It's hard to come up with a pro because like
Mm.
I don't know. I mean, I would say a pro outside of relationships because you did bring up sports. I think the pro will be kind of keeping things that are meant for one side for them. For example, because you brought up, I think you brought something with wrestling or something.
No, the MMA when the male that transitioned into a woman fought a woman fighter, a female, born female, broke the fighter's face, pretty much messed up the career of that fighter. So things like that I don't agree with at all. So yeah, that's one of those. That's really a con for me with the no gender roles or the gender fluidity about it. About I don't think there's certain things like that should mix. But that was pretty
So
much.
then I think I agree with you. So I guess what I'm trying to say, a pro of keeping the gender roles is so traditional.
Okay, pro keep yeah. Okay, I see what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like
Certain
something
things
that
should
don't
be
happen.
traditional. Certain things like
Yeah,
that. Yeah.
I feel like that. I mean, imagine walking to
That's
Hooters and
crazy.
there's a
I
bunch
would
of
have.
dudes walking around. Like I
That
just
was my
can't.
sister.
I just can't with that. So I guess my pro would be when it
Woo.
comes to things outside of relationships, like you should probably keep certain things traditional. And I
Mhm.
don't know if you heard about that thing that happened with was it Bud Light with the beer, and they allowed
Yeah.
they allowed the trans woman pretty much promo a beer,
Yeah.
and they
Yeah.
literally
Yeah.
like pretty much lost hella bread like. certain shit like beer, you should not change up tradition. When you think of beer, at least with me, you think of titties, women, all that. I'm not thinking of no man. So like stuff like that, I feel like it
I know
would
what you're
be
talking
in
about.
your best interest to keep it the same as
Mm,
yeah.
got you. So I kind of agree with. Actually, I agree and disagree with both of you. But I'm talking about overall because we was going back and forth with this friendship. But now the pros that I think when it comes to gender roles, definitely the pro side of the traditional. Let's say when it comes to sports and things that are meant for, because that doesn't necessarily. No matter if you change your gender, there's certain things you can't change about your body and the way it was developed. So I think that's a pro to keep that traditional. It's a con where we allow certain things. Just like I said with the MMA fighter, that should never been allowed. And the woman of the year that we were talking about earlier was Chris, whatever his name is. Like, how does that happen? You're taking away from the women that actually been training or working on it for the rest, like for their entire life, just to fit a narrative. Now, when it comes to like the removing the roles in the relationship, I think it's a pro to have flexibility to not think like, oh, you got to cook because you're the woman. I cook better than every woman I've been in a relationship with. I learned from my mother. My mother learned from my grandmother. I get schooled or they talk shit about you when you cook. So you got to be a good cook. And most of the men in my family are great cooks. You know what I mean? So there's certain roles that if you're better at it when it comes to the relationship that we're in, maybe you manage money better than I do. Do that shit. I want you to. Whatever makes us win together. You know what I mean? I think that's a definite pro when it comes to the gender roles. Now, when it comes to like we were talking about the friendship and all of these other how things could change as far as those roles, like I am a big disagreeer just because if you're similar to me and you love hard, then you really can't go from being intimate with somebody than not being, you know what I mean? Like it doesn't really go backward for you. Got
I think because I love her too. Like I've been single for like 4 years now. You feel what I'm saying?
that's it? Nah.
Shit, that's a long time.
I've been on
But
and off
no,
for like 4 to 5.
yeah. But no, I love her. So for me, I like to get to know. You feel what I'm saying? But I just feel like again, it comes down to the person. I feel like if you love her with every person, I don't think that's realistic.
But it's not
Because
every
how
person. Like I said, it's only a rare occasion that that I'm gonna be with anybody because I don't like most people.
yeah,
Most people
I'm not
mentality.
saying you
I had to learn that I'm a sapiosexual. I didn't know what that was. I just
exactly.
thought
So
that
if
this
you
person is stupid. Now it's like
yeah, yeah,
that's really
yeah,
what it was. I'm like, oh, you're stupid. I can't. You know what I mean? I'm
yeah,
attracted to your body. You look amazing. You know what I mean? But you're stupid. I gotta move on.
for
So it
real.
took me a while to realize that I'm a sapiosexual. Like I'm into the mind. Like the
Yeah,
mind intrigues me.
absolutely.
If
I
the mind
can't.
that don't match the body,
Yeah,
I
it
don't give
gotta
a damn.
match. It gotta match. Because if it don't, then
Yeah, I'm actually the
it
mind
ain't
got
gonna
to be
go
better
far.
than the body. Personally, like I don't, you don't have to be a 10 for me. You know what I'm saying? But you got to be at least a 5 and up. I'll take average. That's a lie. I
I
have never
need
dated
both.
average,
No, I'm
but
playing.
I'm saying I would. I'm lying.
I'm screaming. Nah, but yeah, yeah. Like definitely
Yeah,
gotta
I mean
have the
that's the
mind
pros
and
and
shit
cons
like
that I
that.
have. I mean, I don't really have any other when it comes to like romantic. We're gonna have to touch on that subject when it comes to relationships and
Yeah,
friendships again. I would love to do that one again, but we was mostly focused on the roles and how the roles can actually switch. Now,
yeah,
when we get into emotions and emotional control and maturity, like you, which I was talking about, that definitely changes a lot of aspects of how you're gonna look at somebody and be able to receive somebody at the same time. And then
yeah,
your relationship experience also would change that as well because some people don't heal from their trauma. And I'm saying I'm one of those people. I don't move on until I heal. That's why I don't date often. I don't get in relationships often because when I say I love hard, that means I'm actually giving more into you. I'm giving more of myself into that person, into that relationship, and I
yeah.
want it to win. Otherwise,
Right.
I wouldn't be in it. You know what I mean? So
Right.
that's pretty much where I'm at with it. But overall, I have nothing else to say. Do y'all have anything to say or let people know where to find you? Jiggy,
Y'all see me. Nah, I'm playing.
yeah, Jiggy, let them know where to find you.
Yeah,
You can
everything
find
done.
me at Gigalodian. I wrote it down below because I really don't like spelling it. I feel like I spelled it wrong. And that's it
Hey,
on every platform.
Yeah. My name, DEVANTEFORREAL, Devontae for real. Simple.
Devontae for real, Gigalodian. We had Martha on here earlier. Martha lost a little bit of her signal, so it is what it is. But I appreciate it. You can look up Mars, Martha. I'm gonna have to put it in the bio at the bottom because I can't remember it off the top. But you know me, Mr. Winter Harris, Winter Rasheen Harris. Y'all can find me on a lot of platforms as Winter Harris. If not, look up Rasheen Harris on Google. You'll find me. But this has been another one of Candid Talk podcast. Talk show. We gonna keep doing this every Sunday. Come back and check us out. I'm actually trying to figure out another day. If y'all have an availability, I want to kind of double up. That way we can do some fun topics and to get some of these trending topics down too. But that's all we have for you today, guys. This is a wrap. Come back next week. Catch us at 7 p.m. Between 7 p.m. 7:30. You know, some people move on CP time. Even myself, I had to get my food. I didn't even get to touch it. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Ooh, 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 ooh. All right. But that's all for today. Peace, love, and let's grow together. Yeah.